Hello YouTube, I am the Bearded Tamper. Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do on this beautiful Ozark morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, wanted to give you guys a little bit of a tobacco review on a tobacco that I've been smoking and I'm about done with. I have about one bowl left, and that tobacco is Peter Stokkeby's Luxury Twist. It is a very delicious tobacco. Here's a slice of it. I love it, yeah. So it just kind of, there you can see how it goes. Very, very delightful tobacco. I had no idea what it was when I bought it. I smelled it and thought that it smelled delicious. I bought it at a B&M about 2 hours down the road. That's the closest one. It is in bulk, so I was just smelling the jars kind of thing. Kind of knew what I was looking for. I was looking for a vapor, and I thought this was a vapor from the looks of it and the smell of it, but it is not a vapor. But on the jar, all it said was twist. It didn't say Peter Stokkebye. It didn't say, it might have said Peter Stokkebye, but it didn't say luxury twist, so I don't think it said Peter Stokkebye. I think I found that out later. I didn't really know what it was, but it smelled delicious. It looked good. Sorry, the cat's playing down there at the tripod. Yeah, smelled good, looked good, so I bought it. It was rather expensive, price per ounce, but I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I got it. Anyway, so Peter Stokkebye Luxury Twist. A delicious, delicious tobacco. And I'm smoking it. This is the pipe that I found myself going for on Saturdays. It's a Savinelli 311 KS Dolomiti. And I'm a little, I don't really have a rotation of pipes. I just kind of smoke whatever I grab, whatever I'm in the mood for. Sometimes I'll smoke a pipe for a couple days. That's mainly in the shop. I'll just have a shop pipe and I'll let it sit out because I've smoked it all day, and then the next day I'll just grab it again. And I run a pipe cleaner through it, after every time I'm done smoking it, so it's not sitting there, in a bowl of water kind of thing. But I find myself going for this one on Saturday. Kind of a treat after the week. Love it. So I might call it a Saturday Savinelli. I don't know. Or a sitter Saturday sitter. Because even at 37 I still need a sitter. Anyways, off track. Wanted to do this tobacco review. So Peter Stokkebye. I was looking to find out who owns that name, and I really couldn't find out, but I think it's STG, the Scandinavian Tobacco Group. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody out there. But this is it is a pure Virginia leaf from Zimbabwe and Southeast USA. It didn't give specifics on what Southeast USA, but Southeast USA. And it is hand rolled, as you can see. I mean, it's pretty tight. It is a pretty tight tobacco. It's got to be tight if you can cut it that thin. But it is hand rolled and into spun cakes, what they would call it, I guess. Like a large coin. But then after that, it's then pressed. So after it's rolled, it's then pressed, which gives you, the M shape there. then pressed after it's spun into cakes, and then sliced. So I'm not I'm not huge on vapors. I'm not huge on toppings or casings, but it just a lot of them seem to leave an aftertaste in my mouth. I mean, it tastes good while you're smoking it, but a lot of them seem to leave an aftertaste in my mouth, halfway through the smoke or when I'm done smoking it, and I just don't care for that. I'm gonna get me some coffee. Um, but this one, they say it's a vapor. That blew my mind when I found out that it was a vapor. It is a light vapor, a very light vapor, but being all Virginia, no Cavendish, no Burley, nothing else in there but Virginia. I guess two different types of Virginia. I guess it would make it a much more suitable vapor, or vapor, aromatic. Sorry, a much more suitable aromatic, being composed of one leaf or one type of leaf of Virginia. Than if it had all the Cavendish and everything else. Not that I have anything against Cavendish, but anyways, so it has a caramel flavor to it. Now, I'm not a fan of caramel, but this tobacco is absolutely delicious because I can I can barely detect the caramel. I get more of a cocoa taste on it. Um, it kind of goes between a cocoa and a caramel, and not at the same time. I don't know if I'd be able to detect either one at the same time, but smoking the Hearth and Home Burley cake, that had a distinct cocoa taste. Um, it was very notable, and I get that same taste in this, but I don't think this has any cocoa in it. Um, so the tobacco itself, it smelled fruity at first. I mean, you open the jar and you first smell it, and it smells fruity. My 9-year-old daughter smelled it and said it smelled like raisins, and that's kind of what I smelled the first time that I smelled it. In the B&M, in the jar it was a good sized jar, and I got some raisin notes out of it, but there's it's not a vapor, so it's just the flavor and the high quality leaf, that they're using. Quality makes a difference. Pay for it, for sure. Um, did get a hint of hay, but it it was definitely subtle and in the back. But that's what you expect out of a Virginia. But primarily, the smell that I get from the jar now that I've had it home, and I've had it jarred up, I get a smell, and it reminds me. I used to live at Lake of the Ozarks here in Missouri, and on the strip, there, Lake of the Ozarks was a big attraction back in the day, and it still kind of is. But we would go on the strip, what they called the strip. Just think of like a street, and it had I don't everything on it. It had you had bars there. You had games like go karts, kind of like a circus or a fair kind of thing, or kind of like Branson, Missouri, a strip mall. Branson's got a street that's just got all kinds of attractions on it. Ripley's Believe It or Not, all the shows on there. Everybody's singing and dancing, and then it's got go karts and all kinds of stuff. But this was kind of the same thing. But then it's got shops, selling clothing, selling food, selling candies, drinks, smoke shops, but not more like a head shop, crack pipes and weed pipes and stuff like that. But the smell, all that stuff mixed up together, with the food and the clothing and the bar and whatever, and the smells just from everybody. As weird as this sounds, that's what that tobacco smells like to me, and I don't know why. But I smelled it, and I walked away from it, and I smelled it some more, trying to pinpoint the smell, and that's what keeps coming to my mind when I smell this tobacco. I like it. It smells good. It smells good. It doesn't smell like a bar room, bathroom, or anything. But it really smells good, and it's really hard for me to say, oh man, this smells like banana bread with a touch of chocolate chips or something. But it does smell like the Lake of the Ozarks scene to me. That's the first thing I thought of when I smelt it, and I just did it again this morning. I've been smoking on this, for several weeks, and it's been smelling the same. I still get the fruity smell whenever you first open the jar. After it's been sitting all night and you come out, and you first open the jar, you do get hit with a fruity smell. But as far as I can tell, there's no fruit in it. So the taste is definitely sweet, and it is hard for me to detect what flavor wants to come up front because it is such a light aromatic. But like I was saying, at first I got a small taste of the caramel on the retrohale, and then it would kind of caramel, cocoa. It kind of bounced back and forth throughout the smoke, and mainly on the retrohale. When it wasn't a retrohale, the flavor I couldn't really necessarily detect a certain flavor, but it was a good flavor, and it was sweet, and it is extremely smooth tobacco for a straight Virginia. You kind of expect it to be burn a little hot, and the 311 KS is a pretty short pipe, and I do have a balsa filter in it because it is such a short pipe. A lot of times I will run a balsa filter through this short pipe. My preference, it's about the only pipe that I care to have a filter in. Just my preference. So yeah, it is, and it doesn't burn hot. I have got absolutely no tongue bite out of this tobacco, which my cadence is pretty quick. I try to go slow, but I love pipe. I love pipe. I love pipe smoking so much that I just want to smoke it all the time. So when I have a pipe, it's hard for me not to smoke it fast. Or, I would say fast, but it's hard for me not to constantly be puffing on it. I mean, I don't, I don't get it boiling hot, but I keep it right there. I don't. The pipe does not get much of a chance to cool down when it's in my hands, and it still, it's never bit me, never. So my favorite part about this tobacco, it is really good lighting it up. You get that really good fresh tobacco taste. You don't get a casing or a topping or flavoring taste. I mean, minus, just the hint of it, but it doesn't taste like an aromatic. So my favorite part about this is about the bottom third of the bowl, third to a quarter, where, you know, the tobacco at the bottom has then been saturated, by all the moisture and tar and whatever you want to call it, from the rest of the tobacco being drawn through the pipe. And it's an extremely, it's a bold flavor. This is what it is. It's not like it's a strong, tar kind of flavor, but it's a bold flavor, and I like it. I like it with this tobacco. I like that with a lot of vapor tobaccos. the bottom of the bowl on vapors are typically some of my favorite times in the vapor smoke. And that's, if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, then I am sorry. I absolutely love it. I love a strong tasting tobacco, but you know, who doesn't? Who doesn't like a good quality leaf? But you know, with a good quality leaf, it just seems like all the goodness is drained into the bottom of the bowl, into that tobacco, and that tobacco is soaked up, you know, all that goodness. But it's good all the way through. But some of my favorite parts are the bottom. And that's about it. That's about all I gotta say. It takes about 2 of these to fill up the bowl, and this bowl, you know, it's what, probably about like that. So I don't know, inch and a half, inch and 3/8. So it takes about 2 of these, and what I do, I'm probably not going to do it here because I don't have the jar with me, but I just take it and I wad it up in my hand, and I just wad it up into a ball. I mean, you can fold and stuff, you can do whatever you want. You can get scissors out and cut it up into cubes, but I ball it up and then kind of get it into a, you know, whatever, the size of the bowl while it's still a ball, and then I just kind of drill it in there and then smash it down in there. And a lot of times I'll do that, and then I'll pack it a little bit tighter at the bottom, and then keep doing that, and it tends to smoke for a while. I'd say you probably get about, oh man, I don't know, a little over an hour with this size of a bowl, and the way that I prepare the tobacco and stuff it. But everybody's different. You know, you can do whatever you want. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to listen to Bearded on how to pack and smoke a pipe. But do listen to Bearded when he says to go get some Peter Stokkebye's luxury twist and put it in your pipe and smoke it, because it is very delicious tobacco. And they do sell it in bulk, so you can buy an ounce of it for, you know, $3 or $4 a sample. Try it out. My cat just come up here and started licking my hand and biting it. He's a good cat. Okay, side note, rabbit trail, literally, not literally, but rabbit. 2 times this cat has killed a rabbit and has brought it into the shop, and I come out in the morning and there's like rabbit feet in the shop. Now we have tons of rabbits out here. This yard is north eastern quadrant of the yard is just absolutely littered with clover, and there's times that we'll have 4, 5, 6 rabbits out here. So I'm not worried about him just completely annihilating the rabbit population. But I don't like cleaning up dead rabbit in my shop. But this cat is he's an absolute killer. He's a good cat. Anyways, from Peter Stokkebye to the shop cat. Okay, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you soon. So I am the Bearded Tamper, and you guys have a fantastic weekend.